Good Thursday morning. I'm 3 News meteorologist Peyton Domschke, and let's talk about the great start to this Thursday we are having when it comes to temperatures. We are all starting off the day basically in the 60s. In fact, just a few hours ago, we were a whole lot closer to 70 degrees. There were a few of us that clocked in at 70. That was Dover, and Youngstown was just a degree shy this morning, but right now 60 in Ashland, same thing in Medina, 63 in Elyria, 61 in Ravenna, and 65 in Ashtabula. That lake temperature is still sitting right around 40 degrees, and that lake temperature and the lake in general will play into effect of tomorrow's weather when it comes to seeing some flurries flying. Our wind direction is going to shift, and there is no ice on that lake whatsoever. So with it being open, the idea of seeing some lake effect off and on snow showers is possible as we head through your Friday. But let's talk about your Thursday first and foremost. Obviously, we're starting the day mild. We are starting opposite of yesterday. Yesterday morning, we started off the day in the 30s. Ended in the low 70s for most of Northeast Ohio. Today, we're doing the opposite, starting there, and then we're going to come crashing down. Unfortunately, hour by hour, temperatures are likely going to lower, and then we're also going to see rain at times. Wind, though, is going to play a big factor in today's forecast. There's a wind advisory posted for most of us. In fact, this was just briefly scaled back over the past couple of hours to drop Carroll and Tuscarawas counties. That does not mean those two counties are exempt from experiencing any windy conditions here. It just means that their threshold is not going to be met when it comes to gusts up to 50 miles per hour. So yes, it is going to be a gusty day for everyone nonetheless, if you're included, if you're not included. But for most of us, we could see gusts anywhere from 30 to 50 miles per hour. So securing loose items in your yard if you haven't already. Maybe today is garbage day for you and you don't want to have to chase the garbage can down the street or the recycling bin to go pick it up. Make sure you get out and do that quickly. We could see some downed tree limbs too. Isolated power outages is also always a possibility when we have wind gusts to this category 2. So this is going to be something we'll experience all day long. Once again, get out and tie down the loose items outside if you don't want those things down the street or in your neighbor's yard. It's not going to be the best hair day, so if you're anything like myself, you're going to slick it back in a ponytail and kind of just let it do its thing. Off and on rain showers, as I mentioned, obviously a possibility, obviously ongoing too. And you're seeing this kind of line sort of form from about Lake County all the way back to Holmes County. Some brighter tones in here, picking up some heavier pockets of rainfall too. So at times there might be a little bit more of a need for the windshield wipers during your morning commute, even as we take you through midday. This is not done and over with, but you can obviously tell there's not a whole lot of green on your screen where it's going to be a washout of a day. There will be plenty of dry time. It's not going to be a day where you're going to want to go walk in the park, especially if you're fighting the wind that we're going to experience. So while you might not need a jacket this morning when it comes to a rain jacket per se, you might want to have something handy for later today. Maybe you have Thursday night plans. This is going to be a night that you are going to want to at least have an extra layer handy if you need it. But you can see across the Great Lakes region in a semi-big picture view for you, we are going to continue to see a little bit more rainfall. Some of this is just starting to sneak into the western part of the Buckeye State. It'll progress its way a little bit farther to the east, but you can also probably eyeball what's happening even farther west of just Ohio at the moment. From Wisconsin to Iowa to Illinois, you are seeing snow fly there on your screen. And this is because wind is going to be dragged in here. Wind is obviously driving temperatures down when it comes to our temperature profile. So much colder air is sagging in from Canada at this moment. So Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois are in first to see that cool blast. And believe me, it is going to be evident. So as this entire frontal system, big area of low pressure continues to spin and move its way farther to the east, that severe weather threat that was once in place for parts of the deep south yesterday, which indeed did pack a punch for much of the deep south, has transitioned to parts of the southeast, the mid-Atlantic, really the entire eastern seaboard here, as at least under some sort of outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Most there is under a level 2 out of 5. That is a slight risk from severe weather, all the way through parts of Pennsylvania, stretching all the way down through parts of Florida today. So that will be pictured in all your national headlines when it comes to weather today. When it comes to us here locally, I mentioned the mild air is going to be a factor we are not going to see come tomorrow. In fact, we won't see it later today either. So you can kiss that one goodbye. Chilly air going to be filtered in. I already mentioned where that snow was flying earlier. We're dragging in some Arctic air from Canada this time of the year to make an impact on our April Fool's Day tomorrow. And there is no fooling you when it comes to the rest of this extended forecast, because there will be changes. It's painted here in your national Zymark hour-by-hour forecast. We see the chance for isolated activity continuing to linger through about midday. We will potentially see a break in the cloud cover too. A peak of sunshine can't be ruled out, but temperatures dropping back into the 40s, low 50s, even mid 50s a little bit farther south. This is timestamp 5 p.m. on the top right-hand corner of your screen. You can always reference it there. But something to talk about this is that temperatures are continuing to fall. They are backing on off from not only the 60s, what we're experiencing now, but they're going to continue to drop from the 40s, then back into the 30s, and that change is evident overnight. This is midnight here, starting to bring in some more light rainfall, but you'll notice a little bit of the mixing happening here. So those higher atmospheric levels are a whole lot colder. That cold air can start to mix in and kind of refreeze what is happening. So that ground level is still a little bit more on the warm side until we get to about 6 a.m. tomorrow. That's when temperatures drop closer to freezing. That's when that change over to the mix to snow is possible. And I mentioned the lake playing into impact. And that is because by about midday, that breeze is going to come right off Lake Erie, and that could toss up some lake effect snow. Yep, temperatures are going to be back in the 30s by tomorrow. Maybe a peak of sunshine, but honestly, it is going to be a rather cloudy Friday across Northeast Ohio and a cloudy start to the month of April. We dropped from the 60s today, 60s and falling, low 40s tomorrow as a high. We spend most of the day in the 30s. Then Saturday and Sunday, we are right around 50 degrees, and we will see that chance for a morning shower on Sunday, and then temperatures start to build back up as we head through the middle of next week. We're back in the 60s before you know it. A pretty seasonable first week of April is in store. We just got to get through it, and we've got to get through the wind today.